Hello and welcome. You're watching Newsx and I'm Vaishali Kohli. Now, Australian authorities have identified the shooters in the Sydney terror attack, merely hours after two men attacked an unassuming crowd celebrating the Jewish festival Hanukkah at Sydney's Bondi Beach. The shooters were identified as the father and son duo, Navid Akram and Sajid Akram, revealing their links to Pakistan. Sajid, who had immigrated to Australia as a student from Pakistan, later went on to work as a fruit seller. He was also the licensed owner of the gun he used to shoot at the civilians at the Bondi Beach. Meanwhile, his son was earlier probed as a suspect linked to Islamic states. However, be it Delaware or Christchurch or Sri Lanka or Pahalgam, the Pakistan links to these heinous attacks cannot be ignored. And now, of course, viewers, let me give you an insight into the details of this. Now, we're talking about the terror attacks with Pak links. And of course, let's begin with the Delaware shooting. Now, foiled terror plot at the University of Delaware is what I'm telling you about. The suspect was Luqman Khan, 25, born in Afghanistan, refugee period in Pakistan, and then immigrated to the US as a young person. Now arrested with automatic weapons, body armor, and martyrdom notebook. The martyrdom references in his notebook align with jihadist ideology. That's, of course, a picture of the man that you're seeing there. Let's talk about the Christchurch shooting. We're talking about the Christchurch mosque shootings here, where 51 people were killed. Now, the perpetrator was Brenton Tarrant, who visited Pakistan before the incident, and that, viewers, is a picture of the man on your screen. Now, the motive, let's talk about that. Far-right extremism, anti-Muslim hate. The victims, worshippers at Al Noor and Linwood mosques. The attack, now we're talking about 2020 Charlie Hebdo, the stabbing in Paris that took place. The attack occurred outside the former Charlie Hebdo offices in Paris. And that, viewers, is the man responsible for it. Now, the perpetrator was Zahir Hassan Mahmood, a Pakistani national born around 1995 to 2002, who arrived illegally in France. Those are his details. Zahir Hassan Mahmood on your screens, viewers. Now, the motive was anger over Charlie Hebdo's republication of Prophet Muhammad cartoons. Look at the reason, viewers. This man goes out and stabs somebody for this reason. In January 2025, a Paris court sentenced him to 30 years in prison for attempted terrorist murder and conspiracy. So the man was, of course, sentenced. And now, of course, viewers, let me get you guests joining me on the broadcast, because we're going to have this very interesting discussion. And with me at the moment is Aharon Levarko. He's an Israeli journalist joining me from Netanya in Israel. Aharon, thank you so much for your time today on Newsx. And my first question to you is that from a defense standpoint, really, how effective do you see the coordination which has occurred between the local police and national intelligence and federal security at the moment when it comes to the attack in Australia?
Well, my understanding is up until now, the security has failed the Jewish community. This is an ongoing, growing phenomena in Australia, in New Zealand, in Europe, the UK, in the United States, where people not just anti-Semites, but people who are rioting, who are protesting, people who are calling, they're not hiding, they're calling for jihad, they're calling for Islamic nation. They're not hiding. What I'm saying now, I'm quoting these people who are out on the streets. And if you do not understand what jihad is, then you're going, and especially if you're the authorities and you do not understand what jihad is, then the people who are the targets, they are going to get hit. And many of the Muslim radicals are quoting, and I quote, today, the Saturday people, tomorrow, the Sunday people. This is not just about anti-Semitism. It's not only about the Jewish issue. It's not only about Israel. This is about Western civilization. You only have to read history to understand what the goal of the jihadists is. So going back to your question, to answer it as best as I can, where were the authorities? Where were in a public area on a Jewish holiday? You couldn't get much a better target if you tried. And I didn't see many police around. I didn't see security guards, people having to line up and be searched. I think this is a big failure. Our Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, came out publicly speaking to the Prime Minister of Australia, saying how 6 months ago he sent a letter to him. He warned them. He warned the Prime Minister, and he said, you've let us down. You've let the Jewish community down. You have not supported them. And now we have a 10-year-old murdered. We have an 87-year-old Holocaust survivor murdered in cold blood. And to make it worse, we now have imams, sheikhs from Sydney out in their mosques, out on their streets, celebrating, declaring this is the beginning. And what happened yesterday was part of our mission. So what is the security going to do? I don't know, but it's time. It's way over time. And it's not just the Jewish people that I'm talking about. It's Western civilization. That's my answer.
Right, of course, Aaron, thank you for that.